Good morning. Good morning. It is Saturday, 11 a.m. and 50 seconds right now, August 31st, 2024. I was distracted with Baby Beast over here because I'm using my DougBetts pilot account over there. It's running a commercial right now. About 20 minutes before showtime, I had it up and running and recording. And it started a commercial and it got stuck and just had the refresh symbol and it just stayed there for a long time. I only noticed a couple minutes before showtime and I refreshed it and it just went right to the thumbnail. Now when the show started, I had to click refresh to get it to do anything. And then it went with a commercial. So here it's still got a commercial going. And we're kind of tracking commercials of late. Now, I'm gonna suggest that you do not come into
Ken
Zoom.
Stout Live said, got an ad on my phone, trying to figure this managing mod thing out.
Yes, Ken, I've made him a managing moderator. And currently, I think, we have live commentary mode. So Ken, I'd like you to try to turn that off. Here, I don't have a clue here about live commentary mode. If I come up here to the three dots, does that allow us moderation activity, community moderation? Is it there? I'm not going to turn off the live commentary mode, but I'd like for Ken to see if he can do that. I don't even know where it is because I haven't seen how to do that from his end. So I'm looking over at Baby Beast and it still shows live commentary mode. So when he successfully when he changes that correctly, it should no longer say live commentary mode over there.
Aljaz Tepe said you peps. How are you all today?
Hello, Aliaz. I'm good. How are you? Peps, not peeps, peps.
Ken Stout Live said, yes, I am researching on just how to do that.
Got it. Because I think Darren is watching right now. And Darren, since I don't know your YouTube name yet, you're not yet approved for the chat room. But when Ken gets that turned off, then you should be able to chat. Now, the reason why I'm suggesting that you do not come into Zoom, and there's nobody there right now, is because we're going to start off with Darren B's reply to the show yesterday. He gave a long, detailed reply. Oh man, you are so good at that, Darren. He gives good, detailed email response without saying it and they and that. He's actually gives specific words, so I can pretty much tell what he's talking about. He will not be coming into Zoom. He doesn't have that functionality up for him, but I'm going to share with you the email that he just sent before the show. This is a thank you from him to all of us who participate. There it is. I see a moderator turned off, live commentary mode. So there, Darren, if you're watching right now, you should be able to chat, except that it might require 1 minute of subscriber that you've been subscribing for 1 minute. Let's go look at that. Let's see if that's the case. Then I'll get to his email from this morning. Let's see, it's in customization. Anyone. No, it's not even set on subscribers. So I think Ken just changed it from live commentary to anyone. And Ken will be watching. If our troll comes in, then we will turn that off and delete his message without advertising it, without giving it any airtime whatsoever, will be the intent. And I also want to watch if Ken, if you see a commenter come in and chat that looks like it's Darren B, then go ahead and give him moderator.
Ken Stout Live said yes, set to anyone, and yes will fix if need be.
Very good. Thank you, Ken. We kind of worked out the details of that in his...
Aljaz Tepe said with peps, I mean chat. Sorry, Uncle Doug, for my typo.
That's quite all right. We all do those. In fact, I do not only do typos, but I do speakos. Speakos is when I say the wrong word. Sometimes I just totally... Oh, when I was talking about that TV thing up at the cabin, I was saying that I moved the HDMI, his cable from his HDMI 3 port to the HDMI 1 port on the computer, or somewhere in that. I referred to his TV as a computer. John Williams giving us a Victor or Vanishing, where you see fictional Dougs. That's not the one that's talking to you right now, right? And DougBot just put a message into chat telling people, if you see live commentary mode in the chat field, which you're not seeing now, so that message is irrelevant right now. And over on Baby Beast, I see that I can actually chat right here. I do not want to make that account an approved chatter. And I'll just say hi chat from that account. That should be, oh, that's just DougBetts. It's actually my DougBetts pilot account. I should change that to reflect that. But we're going to get started. Oh, no, I got to do one other thing first. I think there's a joke in chat. When I saw Brian Lightfoot's name come up in chat, I stopped reading chat because I try to give honest, genuine reactions to see if he stumps me, so that I don't read it ahead of time, so that I don't have an unfair advantage. Tim Cruz, hello. Alice, hello. Greg Guy, in third place. Tim Cruz was here last night, 7:20 p.m. my time. Alias Tepe. Peeps, nice trailer. That was Toto, one of Mitch's favorites. And yeah, because he's always wearing a Toto shirt. He's got what, like 50 of them or more? And he's always going to their shows. They know him because he's in at their shows so much, right in front center. Darren Gilholm, Jonathan, alias John Williams, Mike Wojcik. Here we go. Brian Lightfoot. Parachute for sale, $350. Only used once, never opened, small stain. Yeah, you can read the detail behind that. That's a joke that I've known for a long time. Then Brian Lightfoot, Stump the Doug. You walk into a pitch black room and you only have one match. You have some newspaper, a candle, and some firewood in front of you. Which should you light first? The match. You didn't do it. You did not stump me. I knew it. I knew it was coming. As you were getting up to, I knew it was coming.
Aljas Tepesh said, what kind of computer sings the best? Adele.
Very good, Alias. That was good. I thought you were asking a genuine question. What computer is the best for me to buy? I don't know. It depends upon you. But no, Brian says rats. He got it. Oh, I forgot to punch my joke button, so I'm putting in that late. I put a chapter marker, so when I go back later and fix up the links in the description to take you to the right place in the video, I can fix that later. I'm sure you don't have a clue what I was just talking about. Some of Ken Stout's people from last night know what I'm talking about. Just scanning through because I want to go get into Darren B's content. So if a question comes up in chat, you can type out a question and then put an exclamation mark C after that. Prefer to wait until after Darren B.
Ken Stout Live said chapter mark on Stream Deck.
Yeah, a button on my Stream Deck creates a chapter mark in a text file. I have to later copy and paste it into the description. Ran Israel saying topic 6, please. After the email, also notice duplicates in description under topics list. Well, let me finish what I was describing there. If you got a question in chat, type out your question, next line, exclamation mark C, but I'd actually prefer you wait until after we finish with Darren B, because that's going to take a long time. And I don't want to forget your question. If you see somebody else says something in chat that you think my attention should be directed to it, then please direct my attention to that by putting exclamation mark C. And then after that, type something that'll get me to the right place. So Ran Israel, topic 6, please, after we're done with the email. I get it. Let's see here. Topic 6 after the email. Yeah, that's what I figured was going to be next, unless somebody has a question in chat. And that would take priority over that. Now, however, if I don't do that unboxing today, I will not be able to do that unboxing this on Monday, because I have to get that computer set up over the weekend. Now, can we get to this. You know what? Before I do that, I'm going to hit an ad break. I think if I take control of the ad breaks, there's going right now. If I take control of the ad breaks, then YouTube doesn't throw them in at inconvenient locations. So Baby Beast is showing an ad break right now. There's what it is. What's that? Labor Day sale for a Harbor Freight. And it's one of two. And when I let them go through, then I'll be able to see how long they are. Now is that automatically going to go on to the next one? Yeah, there it goes. Sound your track, your commute. All right, so I'm going to get that email. First, his appreciation email that came through this morning. This is directed to everybody who participates around here. Here we go. This was 21 minutes ago.
Ken Stout Live said got the same 2 ads on my phone.
The same 2 ads that I displayed? Exclamation mark Y, Ken. If you got the same 2 ads that I received, that would be surprising, because my understanding was that he
Yes,
says yes.
affirmative.
My understanding that you get ads that are specific to the person. So he says it's becoming rare these days to have folks. Oh, I wasn't talking to you, iPhone. It is becoming rare these days to have folks willing to offer help to others who are, let's say, technically challenged concerning modern day electronics. Well, let's just make it clear. We offer help to those, to technicians as well, professional technicians as well, because professional technician or not, technically challenged or not, none of us know it all. None of us. We've proven that over and over again on this channel. Concerning modern day electronics, it is truly great to get free help from those who aren't technology challenged and can give precise, extremely detailed steps to get those folks' issues resolved. You have a great YouTube channel. I think so. Thank you. Right? You have a great YouTube channel, and I have only recently discovered it. In fact, the day I first emailed you was the day I discovered your channel. It is wonderful that you do this to help. So thank you very, very much for your effort and all the work you put into your channel. Your efforts are truly awesome. Well, thank you for those very kind remarks. And please understand, I love doing. The problem with just me working as a computer tech, I don't get enough issues coming up to satisfy me. I need more. I'm hungry for more. So that's part of where the idea of this channel came up. And I think that's why there's quite a few people that are very regularly watching this channel. It's not because they like me. It's because it's because they're intrigued with dealing with a lot of computer issues. And because we grow and learn much faster that way than just working on our own.
Ken Stout. Live said, move to Arkansas. You will be so busy.
And that's an inside joke. If you don't understand that, then just keep hanging around this community longer and you will eventually. Now, I'm going to next go to an email that I sent to myself with my notes regarding Darren's reply email that you have not seen yet, because my notes are shorter. So I'm going to give you the preconceived ideas of where my mind is going, and then we'll go through his email. And it's going to take a while. Some of you, your eyes are going to glaze over. Some of you are going to tap out, and you're just going to say, no, this isn't for me. Before the show started, I saw there were 22 waiting, I think, and now there's 37 watching. So let's see if that number goes down. See if we can chase some people away. So YouTube doesn't give Doug's ad requests any attention. Well, yeah, it does, Selden. But it's just, YouTube tells us about the ads is not everybody will see an ad when I trigger an ad. And I think that YouTube probably does that based upon how recently the individual received an ad. Okay.
John Williams said thanks for the support at Ken Stout Live. Hey.
Oh, here.
Algestapage said, knock knock. Who's there? Hello world. Hello world. Who? Name error. Name who is not defined.
If you have any background with programming, that's a very common first program that you write, is just get the screen to display hello world. The joke is knock knock. Who's there? And hello world, who? and the response will be name error, name who is not defined. That's a variable that's not been defined. So nicely done. Okay. There's another DougBot talking about live commentary mode, and that is not active right now. So he's all can ignore that. Let's get to that email. Distracted much, Doug? Begin a new, this is my suggestion as one of the troubleshooting steps, is begin a new Windows 10 install on the drive that's not being able to boot Windows, and see if the drive partitions appear. Don't actually install Windows, of course. We don't want to damage your what's on that drive. But see if the drive partitions appear. I have, and this is why I mentioned the other day, oh, I'm forgetting the word again. That weird configuration that, who is it, Dell or HP, the one where they have a memory caching on the motherboard. Those drives typically you need to install
Read chat,
a driver.
please.
Brian Lightfoot, read chat, please. Are you distracting me more from this? Got message in chat. Chat disconnected. Please wait while we try to reconnect you. Yeah, I get that once in a while too. I'm showing 0 dropped frames.
Ryan
Optane.
Israel said Optin.
Thank you, Ran Optane. Yeah, that's what I was saying. When a computer has some form of Optane involved, this will happen, but that's not the only time it happens. There are other instances where Windows might need a driver that somehow tells it how to see that drive, but I think we're probably okay. We could assume that a Windows install would see it, but this is so quick and easy to do. Prove your assumptions. This is one of the troubleshooting principles that I go back to many times. Prove your assumptions. You assume that Windows can see that drive. Maybe not. Go start a Windows install. When you get to the place where the drive partitions show up, if they're there, then Windows is able to see the drive.
John Williams said, can you replace Optane with a M2 SSD?
Brian Lightfoot said, is SpeakerBot working?
It looks like it's working to me. The OBS is showing me that it's going through. Are you guys not hearing it? I'm hearing it. And John Williams, can you replace Optane with an M.2 SSD? I kind of doubt it because I think the motherboard is dependent on that. But there's no reason to use Optane. Optane is so last year. No, Optane is so last decade. It was useful for spinning hard drives. It would speed things up. But with solid state drives, there's no need to do Optane at all. Okay, then coming back here. Now, if not, a storage driver is needed. Now, when you're at that screen showing the partitions, I think one of those menu options can load drivers. The screen prior to getting to that point gives you an opportunity to load drivers. This can happen even when BIOS sees the drive, yes. So your BIOS, I think you told us that BIOS is able to see the drive. Then, of course, abort the install from the partitions list. And I'm mentioning here that I had a similar symptom after cloning a drive. I've had this a few times. Cloning a drive using Macrium Reflect is my go-to, and then try to boot the computer from it and it won't boot. Then I've got to take that, and it gets similar responses. All right.
Aljaz Tipedge said, last joke from me today. I will leave you alone, Uncle Doug. How many programmers does it take to change a light bulb? None, because it is a hardware problem.
I could have given you the punchline for
Brian
that
Lightfoot said SpeakerBot took about 45 seconds to state my message.
one. That happens sometimes. There's the delay, of course, with the latency of YouTube. So when you put that command in, it starts quicker for me, but then there's the latency before you hear it, because there's about 5 to second latency from when I say something to when you hear it. Oh boy, here I am. I'm going to get distracted again. Here's where you can see the latency. If you have your seconds turned on Windows 11, let's see, down, where is it? Oh, that's weird. You're not seeing my whole screen in OBS for monitor 1. All right, I'm getting off track again. You guys are doing this to me.
Ken Stout Live said, seeing email.
Seeing email. I'm seeing my email. I don't know why you're telling me that. I'm showing my monitor number 1. That's what I'm concerned about. Let me get this thing fixed. Why are you not able
Ken
to
Stout
see
Live
my
said on
clock?
YouTube we were seeing email.
Well, of course you were. That's what I'm displaying. Why are you telling me that? I know there's emails showing there. Are you telling me I'm showing an email that I shouldn't be, or that I'm not aware that I am? I have no idea why you're making that comment, Ken. Are you saying that you're seeing my other email address? I don't care about that. That's public information. Just don't use that to try to get my attention because it won't be seen.
Ken Stout Live said, I thought you said you were going to show latency.
Yes, by showing the clock in the bottom right corner of that monitor, and you're not seeing the clock in the bottom right corner. That's how you're going to see latency. I'll try my monitor 3. No, you're not seeing that either. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay, there it is. I got it. I just had to change my OBS. My OBS was too short. So there you're seeing the time in the bottom right corner. And, well, I can't zoom in on that. Oh, yeah, I can. There you can see the time. So if you have that freezes the time when I do that. You see the seconds down there. If you have seconds turned on your computer, then you can compare the seconds that's showing on my computer to the seconds that's showing on your computer. And that will tell you the latency. Distracted much, Doug? Good grief. Can you get back on track, please? Abort the install from the previous, I already did that. Similar symptom, yeah. So then I take that drive back into Macrium Reflect and use a menu option to fix boot issues. And the thing that I want to say here is the symptoms that you're getting, Darren, those are the same symptoms. It tries to repair and fails and can't see the operating system, things like that. Those are exactly the kind of things that I would get. Now, I know you didn't clone the drive. At least you haven't told us that you did. But the point is that that menu option in Macrium Reflect and other utilities can fix boot options. Now, so far we haven't got to my favorite technique yet. Here's another one. Swap SATA connectors so that the drives are seen in a different order by BIOS, since your boot configuration data is on the drive that has Windows XP. And yes, chat viewers, you haven't seen that yet in his message, but the boot configuration data is on the physical drive that has his Windows XP. So anyway, swap the connectors on the motherboard so that the drives are seen in a different order. The boot configuration data info may be expecting the drives to be in the same order as the original, because maybe when you replaced the motherboard, you didn't connect them in the same order. Or just try swapping them anyway. Now here's my favorite, full image backup of the Windows drive, the physical drive that has Windows on it. Now, actually, we should say at the beginning of all of this, a very, very wise thing to do would have been to make an image backup of both drives. But you were replacing the motherboard. You weren't anticipating a problem. So if you're able to, it'd be good to get a full image backup of both drives just right now so that you have more freedom to do things without consequence. You've already done some repair efforts that may have shot yourself in the foot. But anyway, here, full image backup of the Windows drive, then do a fresh Windows 10 install, preferably on a different drive. If you have another drive that you can use, I like that a lot, on another drive. Now that's going to get a fully bootable Windows 10 operating system. Then restore only the C partition from the backup, not all the partitions that are on the backup, just the ones that are just the C partition. Message deleted by Brian Lightfoot? One called Ken Stout. Oh yeah, Yeah, go check when that channel was created and then go delete that person or hide them. I'm not going to display that on screen. Except Ken could have said your new comments. That could have been, actually, that could have been Ken on a
Kenner.
different channel.
Tick Stout Live said, really, Doug, that is me on my Zoom account.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's okay. You don't need to block that one. That is him. But the troll that comes around here a lot, he will claim to be somebody who is a regular on this channel. Yeah, so I think I finished describing. This is my favorite choice right here. Now you're going to find out some more information about Darren B, and that is that I think he has more time than money. There's a bit of budget concerns here, but due to circumstances, I think he does have time. So he also has some resources on hand, because we know he already connected that spinning hard drive. It's got to be a spinning hard drive because that computer's so old. I guess, do we know that? I don't know if we know that. He connected it to his laptop computer, so he has a powered SATA external connector. I'm also assuming these are SATA drives. We haven't actually asked that, and he hasn't said, but I suspect that they are. Of course, he has given us the motherboard information, so I think some people may have already looked that up. And Brian says he did assume that Ken Stout was a troll. No, he wasn't. There's Darren B. Somebody go make him a moderator, please. We know he's not a troll. Fresh Windows 10 from the backup. And then I said, am I correct that you have more available time than money? And also, is there a time pressure to get this fixed quickly? Okay, and the reason why I'm asking that, of course, is because the image backup and the installing Windows on another drive, hopefully you have another drive that you could do that on. The image backups, if you don't have another drive that you can use as a backup drive, perhaps your laptop, does it have a 1 terabyte drive and there's enough space on it that you could make the image backup to your laptop drive or to some other drive? These two drives that are in your mom's computer, we know they're both 1 terabyte. So the Windows XP drive on that, since it is fully functional, you could perhaps make the backup to a file on that drive. I think you could probably figure out resources to get this done. Now, if you do this, for instance, with 2 external drive connectors connected to your laptop, and there's USB 3 and a USB 2, it's going to go at the USB 2 speed. So that's where I'm getting about the time, because these image backups and restores may take a while. Physically spinning hard drives. Yes, he says it is physically spinning hard drives. Are they SATA? Make sure of that. I wish I did have the extra drives to clone the image. Yeah, so if you don't have the extra drives, do you have the space? If push come to shove, you could make the image backup to a drive that has enough space. Okay, he says he doesn't have enough of that. Don't have drives of that size. You don't have enough free space to make an image backup of the amount of data that is on your mother's C drive. So that might be 200 gigabytes. I have no idea how much space is there, and they are SATA. Thank you. The Windows XP drive, you said it's a 1 terabyte. You said it has 2 partitions. I think you said it's 1 terabyte. So is there enough space on one of those partitions that you could make the backup to that drive? Now, let's get on to Darren B's email. Really, Doug? It took this long
Ken
to
Stout
get
Live
to
said,
that?
Houston, we have a problem. I do not see a way to make Darren a mod.
Really? Oh, that's weird. Okay, I'll go look at that. Here's Darren B, the 3-dot menu, add as moderator. Okay, I'm going to wait and have Ken, the other moderators, I don't think anyone else can make him a moderator, but Ken is a managing moderator. So that 3-dot menu, whoops, I got to go to Darren. When you do the 3-dot menu for Darren,
Ken Stout Live said on my phone, I do not have that option.
Are you only watching on
Brian
your phone?
Lightfoot said managing mods do not have the ability to add as moderator.
Oh, they don't. Oh, that's interesting. Only I can do that. Huh. Darren says he's not sure how full the drive is. You could find that out by, if you're able to.
Ken Stout Live said, as a manging mod, I must use my phone to do things.
Okay. Well, Darren, we'd like to have you show up in blue so that we know that you are a person who is not a troll. Because we have a lot of problems with trolls around here. So that's why I like to make you blue. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I don't ask you to do moderator duties. In fact, most of the times prefer that you don't. But it's just so that we know that you're not an unknown quantity. That's the reason. So I just made him a managing moderator. He says, I gathered that, LOL. Okay. Gathered that. Perhaps means gathered that about troll problems. Don't go there, Doug. Don't get started on that. Okay. Here is Darren's response email to yesterday's show. I'm going to scroll through this so that you get an idea how much is there. And there's pictures. I'm gonna then go through it one screen worth at a time. For those of you who want to go read ahead, I'll turn off my picture in Peacher. I'll go down one screen worth by clicking in the scroll bar here below the scroll box. This goes down one screen worth. So notice that 916 at the bottom. When I click here, that 916 is near the top. So if somebody's wanting to put that on a separate tab so that they could read ahead or reference other information in here, you can do it that way. And then I'm going to go read through it. Yes, I am, because this is the stuff that I would live and die for. This is awesome. He does such a good job of writing this. And he took a tremendous amount of time to write this. I promise you. When I write something like that, I double check my grammar and my spelling and make sure it makes sense. Could this be misunderstood this some way? If I were to write this much content, it would take a long, long time. Amazing job, Darren. Well done. In fact, Darren, 13,156 points awarded to you right now. Just right now, first time you're on actually active in chat. 13,000, whatever number I said. Now, points on this channel are redeemable for valuable prizes and awards, but not valid for residents of planet Earth. So if you live on some other planet, then you could file a claim for that. And you thought this, the first email was long, LOL. I didn't watch the show live. I'm in the Eastern time zone, so he's a Ken Stout time zone. I have to strain my brain too much to figure out different time zones, LOL. I did tap the link in your email and watch the full video on YouTube. Thank you very much for the link. You're welcome. Now on to answer the questions and uncertain thoughts you had and asked about on the show, dated 8/30/2024 at 9 a.m. your time. I mean, you are my people, Darren B, explaining the date and time of that show. At 8 minutes, 21 seconds in that show. He answers the question. The BIOS is IDE or SATA, always has been. That's what it has been set for. So he knew that already about the previous motherboard and the current one at 9:16 seconds. It appears that boot manager is on the Windows XP Pro drive partition. So it is possible my efforts to repair boot manager was on the wrong drive and partition. I will have to confirm what drive and partition before I proceed any further in my efforts, LOL. Yeah, so when you were going through the Windows automated repairs, we don't know, was the Windows XP drive connected at that time in the 0 drive position, drive 0, I would think it needs to be. Jason Maribel, hi there, Doug, and everyone. I find myself watching you on tape as opposed to live. Often You recently convinced me to start using OneDrive to back up critical data. Love your show, community. Awesome, Jason. Thank you so much. We probably just need to get a little more interaction with you, and maybe someone could go check out the length of time of his channel. And if he's, well, I guess you can't make him moderator, can you? None of you can. Anyway, if somebody checks him out, let me
Ken
know.
Stout Live said already did he is okay.
All right, he's okay. So let's get over here. Jason Maribel, you are welcome. Glad to have you. Hope you show up often. Adding you as a moderator. Now, one thing this does mean that you can do is you can put links into chat. And if you want to, if you actually publish content of your own, you're welcome to give us links to your content. Just tell us what the link is that you're giving us. So welcome aboard. Yeah,
Ken Stout Live said I am earning my 3 cents today.
you are earning your paycheck. What? Ken gets paid for this? LOL. Right there, right there. LOL. Let's see. Brute manager was on the wrong drive and permit. I will have to confirm what drive and partition before I proceed any further in my efforts. At 924, I had to research Optane because I didn't know what that was. I am 100% certain that neither of the two motherboards use or had Optane. I agree with you. It is an AMD-based system, and to my research, Optane was an Intel product. Yes, you're correct. So I don't think Optane is a factor. Correct. It appears that this was exclusively to Intel, and by the way, is no longer offered. Correct. With SSDs, there's no point. I researched compatibility with AMD, and the results showed it is not compatible with AMD. Yeah. This will be the third motherboard for the rest of this system. So on its mother's computer, this is the third motherboard for it. It's a custom build computer, same processor, same hard drive, same sound card, CD, DVD drives. Yes, he has that. A floppy drive and some peripheral cards. Remember, this is an older computer. The two previous motherboards were ECS branded motherboards. I would have to look up the specific models. Ken Stout puts a shameless plug in chat for himself, probably. Yes, himself. And that is his form of payment. The first motherboard had a regulator chip short circuit. I'm not going to try to say that 3 times fast. Regular chip short circuit. Regular chip short. Regular chip
Aljaz
short
Tepej
circuit.
said, guys, please do not post links after you type. D not sound good. Thank you.
Yeah, don't do a speaker bot for links. Yeah, he said don't post links after !D. Right, absolutely not. I should be able to, there is a way I should be able to put a button to interrupt a speaker bot in progress so we don't have to listen that all the way through. John Downey, I got a NAS using Open Media Vault. The problem is it is really slow. Okay, we're gonna maybe come back to that somewhere else. Scared the dog when it popped from Darren B. Was there a pop noise? Oh, the motherboard. The first one had a regular chip short circuit and blew a hole in its top. Extremely lucky nothing else was taken out because of the power supply surge after the regulator blew out, and that scared the dog. The second motherboard is the one that experienced the massive surge because of the lightning strike. I don't think you tell us here, was there physical evidence on that motherboard? Not that I'm doubting that it was damaged. Just curious. 945, copying the data. That would require a much larger skill set than I currently have. I totally disagree with that. You are completely capable. You just haven't been down that road before. And maybe you're feeling nervous about it. No, copying that data, you could definitely handle. It isn't just the data. Is it all Windows updates since the original installation and reinstalling countless programs to completely restore the system as it was before the lightning? It would take huge amounts of time as opposed to fixing the broken boot manager issue. You are my people with this. I have many times, in fact, people on this that watch this channel have been frustrated with me because I will put so much effort into trying to avoid rebuilding from scratch. So I understand this. Installing countless programs. Maybe you can't even figure out what were they, because you can't access that drive now. So what were those programs? I think this is, well, of course, my biggest optimism is about doing the image backup and restore. And I understand you don't have the resources at hand, but maybe we can still figure out some way around that. Huge amounts of time as opposed to fixing the broken boot manager issue. The product key is a retail key, and as I understand it, is transferable to a new or mostly new system because the other system took a permanent dump. Yes, if it's a true retail product key, and I think later you tell us that you actually purchased it from a store as a DVD, paying the full retail price. Now, when you go to activate it, you might have to call a phone number and probably go through an automated procedure to activate it. But that is only if you do, well, no, that's not only if you do a fresh install. If you get this booting problem fixed, that Windows 10 still was a digital license. It is a retail product key, and I think the way that this works is it's a digital license. You can, when you swap the hardware, that digital license is no longer valid for that product ID code because you've changed the motherboard, and it calculates a different identity, different hardware identity. So you would have to re-enter that license, and it will probably fail to activate. And then I think they'll give you a phone number to call, and there's an automated system where you have to punch in a long code and wait for it to reply. And then you have to type in the code that they give you by reply. It takes several minutes to accomplish, but you can get through that if it winds up being required. Per your suggestion, I researched SysPrep. It doesn't appear to have the capability to fix a broken boot manager. No. Now, why do you believe it is a broken boot manager? Is that just your assumption because that's the message you're getting? Windows does not always give us accurate messages. I think it would be a mistake to take that log. You were looking at a log file and it was complaining something about boot manager. That's not necessarily the first level problem. Now it might be, and this is an area that I don't know very well, but SysPrep, what that will do is that will cause Windows to check what hardware devices are there and load different drivers. So I'm thinking it might be possible. He says he's not concerned about Windows activation. Thank you. So I want to caution you, don't lock yourself down too much to believing that the boot manager is the original source of the trouble, because you didn't do anything to those hard drives. You put in the new motherboard. The only change that occurred, hang on.
Ran Israel said you need a working system to run SysPrep.
I thought you could run SysPrep against an offline system. If you connect that hard drive to another computer, isn't there a command that you can run SysPrep to an offline drive? I don't know that real well. So Ran Israel knows that area better than I do. Normally it would be run on an operating computer. Okay, continuing. 1127.
Ran Israel said no, that's DISM.
DISM that can operate against a offline drive. Can DSM apply a similar thing to an offline drive as what SysPrep do, so that when it tries to boot, it gets fresh drivers? Hello, Pebbles. Nice to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you for a while. Now let's go. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and take a station break, ad break. Trying to get these done, trying to get these ad breaks in so that YouTube doesn't do them at times when I don't want it to be. Ran Israel says no, so DISM will not do that. Now, so I'm kind of delaying a little bit before we go on. All right, got that. and I'm not changing the title right now because we're not doing a different topic. That's something that I do on the Monday through Friday show. I do have an ad running on Baby Beast. That is currently on ad 2 of 2. So when that finishes, yeah, so we're back. And we're back. 1127. I didn't search for any burnt components. Oh, the most recently damaged motherboard. However, I did try to get a post power on self-test and nothing. I reset the CMOS by removing the battery. So the BIOS, we went back, reverted back to BIOS default. Still no post. No post. Well, this is different. This is the Windows trying to install we're trying to load would be after the power on self-test. The power on self-test is checking processor and memory, that there's hard drives present. Still no post, only a black screen after the on-screen display went away. Maybe now on-screen display, do you mean the splash screen that's really from the monitor manufacturer? Or is that the on-screen display that might say press escape for setup, or might display memory? Can you get in? Well, yeah, you can get. No, can you get into BIOS setup? Even if you have to disconnect both drives and get into BIOS setup and change the startup so that it gives more thorough startup messages, and it might provide interesting information. Darren says, yes, the splash screen for the monitor only. If you can't get into BIOS and there's something else, well, that doesn't make sense because you're able to boot that computer on the Windows XP drive. So you have to be able to get through post. If you have the problem drive connected, then when post gets to the point of testing the hard drive, it's running into a problem. Hello, Parker Morse. Parker Morse. Parker knows us from I think the Fortnite days. Coming back here. No beep codes with the video card.
Ran Israel said, I think he disconnected the drives during that test.
Disconnected the drives during this test. Tried to get a post and nothing. Yeah, I don't quite see that. Maybe you can clarify that. When you got the splash screen only, were both drives disconnected then? Still no post, only a black screen after the on-screen display went away. No beep codes with the video card and memory were removed either. So removes video card and memory to see if he gets beep codes. Is there a speaker attached to the motherboard? You're not going to hear beep codes if it doesn't have a speaker. Some motherboards have a speaker built onto the motherboard, but not all of them, I think. I suppose I should confirm the monitor didn't get zapped too, but the Windows XP works, doesn't it? Give me a confirmation, Darren. Does the Windows XP drive actually boot up and work? I thought you're saying that it did. Darren says the fans run, but no post on the lightning struck motherboard. Oh, this isn't the replacement motherboard. So you're talking about the motherboard that got damaged, and that's why you conclude it's damaged. I get it. You're answering my question. How do you know that motherboard was damaged? Were there burnt components? It won't get a post. Got it. Got it. Got it. Understood. Understood, Amundo. Indeed, bad motherboard. Got you. I have worked with electronics from a very young age and zapped components. Yeah, I'm thinking when I grow up, I'd like to be a professional computer technician. I have worked with electronics from a very young age, and zapped components can look in perfect condition and be non-functional. Absolutely, absolutely. And it's possible that the damage could be inside the traces inside the motherboard and the vias that go through the motherboard. I'm guessing. I'm sure you are aware there are many computer components that are static sensitive, and one strong static discharge can wipe out a hard drive, memory, or a processor, etc. electronic components, yeah, but actually installed in the computer, I think myself and a lot of people around here.
Greg M. said, how old is this inaccessible boot disk?
Okay, we'll wait for Darren to answer that, how old that inaccessible boot disk is. Now, that was recently working on the motherboard prior to the lightning damage. So now, if you can begin a Windows 10 install and it sees those partitions, then that drive is functional, at least to that point. Coming up here, let's see, thoroughly tested. Yeah, I asked, what do you mean by thoroughly tested? Means fully functional, can access all the files and folders using check disk. On my laptop, it shows no problems or issues. I wanted to test the drives with Western Digital's hard drive utility software for further analysis, but it appears they no longer have internal hard drive testing utilities available for download. I think they do. I think I've downloaded it recently, and I'm sure somebody will give you a link for that in chat, if that is true. So I fully tested them with what I had at my disposal, and both worked as expected. I am totally satisfied. If you were able to get to files on there, I'm totally satisfied with that, to say that it's functional. I'm sure I have a setup and diagnosis CD somewhere, and perhaps I run such tests later. However, as the limited testing I was able to do, they appear to function normally. I agree with that. I think that the drive is okay. 1310 in that video. And 13 minutes. Wait a minute. I thought we were further along. Nope. All of those time increments are prior to this. All right. Pressing F8. Usually before Windows 10 logo appears, will present these options, safe mode among many others. It results in the same error, inaccessible boot device. I will, now that's where I'm going back to what Macrium Reflect and other utilities can repair boot problems. I will say upon first boot, it runs boot system repair, gets to the attempting repair screen, but every time it fails. And that piece there is making me think that there's some other problem prior to that. And I have had that exact sequence of events occur when Macrium Reflect winds up repairing it. Now, I keep saying Macrium Reflect. That doesn't mean that you have to do that product. Any hard drive utility program that can repair boot problems, it can repair things that Windows Automatic Repair won't do. After the attempt, it shows the message, sometimes a restart can fix the issue. This isn't the exact message, but essentially it means that and Windows 10 still won't boot. I know exactly the message you're talking about there. 1417. When I set up the dual boot system years ago, I did not know that I chose the wrong drive for Windows 10. Intended to have both the operating systems on one hard drive and the other drive for hard drive storage space. If I remember right, these drives both have 2 partitions on them, and I want to say that he said they're 1 terabyte each. Is that true, Darren? You can do !Y in chat, Darren. Is that true that they're both 1 terabyte drives? Darren says, that would be fantastic for the latest diagnostic software. I guess that was the link that Wintermute put in for Western Digital. Good. It doesn't appear, it doesn't appear live is posting my messages. Perhaps it is lag. Yeah, I'm seeing that message. And Wintermute gives another link in case he needs one for Windows XP or whichever he's saying there. Anyway, continuing on here. What now is that I intended to set up Windows 10. I should have what I now know is that when I intended to set up Windows 10, I should have temporarily disconnected the other drive. I researched and learned it is a big no-no to install 2 operating systems on the same partition in dual boot configuration. Oh, you can't. They have to be on separate partitions, as far as I know. Well, yeah, there might be some utilities that can manage it. As far as drive configuration, it worked perfectly until the lightning strike. I admit that I likely messed the whole thing up because I ran boot repair with only one of the hard drives connected. The moment it failed to repair it, I examined the partitions only to discover the Windows 10 installation wasn't on the other partition on the same drive. So when he ran that repair, he thought they were on the same drive, but separate partitions. Yeah, wasn't on the other partition. Here's even more detail. Man, you're good at this. Here's even more detail. If I connect only one hard drive with Windows XP Pro, I get this blue message screen, picture below. Let's go grab that picture now. This one. F11 to make that bigger. Your PC device needs to be repaired. A required device isn't connected or can't be accessed. And that's where I'm thinking of could be a driver issue that motherboard, Windows needs with that motherboard. Remember, that motherboard wasn't designed for Windows 10. So that could be a thing. I think I'm saying that right. You'll need to use recovery tools. If you don't have any installation media like a disk or USB device, contact your PC administrator or PC device manufacturer. Enter to try again, F8 startup settings, F9 different operating system. Okay, so then let's get back. Do that right. I got to find where I was at. You know what? That's a good time for another ad break. It's not that I'm trying to get more money out of this. It's that I'm trying to control where the ad breaks occur, because YouTube's going to put them in. So Ran Israel suggesting to Darren that he changes from top chat to live chat. And that is done up here on the 3-dot menu. No, it's not. Oh, over here on the top left side. Change from top chat to live chat. Might fix whatever issue is going on there. I don't know if I saw a commercial on Baby Beast. Hammering back a little bit to see. Nope, I don't think it did a commercial. All right, where was I at? In here somewhere. I think I got through this. No, it was the picture. It was when we saw the pic. Control F, PIC. Yeah, there's where that is. Get this blue screen here. If I press enter, the screen will flash refresh, the same thing if I press F8. However, if I press F9, I see this black and white screen that he's got a picture for. I can use the arrow keys to choose earlier version of Windows and Windows XP Pro boots without issue. I am convinced this is a problem with Boot Manager. It doesn't have the appropriate driver to communicate with a hard drive, hence the inaccessible boot device. This takes me back to attempting to install Windows 10 on the drive that has Windows 10 and see if the partitions show up. If they don't, then you definitely need a driver and got to figure out what that driver is that is needed. Now, this pic that he's talking about, black and white screen here, F11, choose an operating system to start. Yeah, earlier version of Windows. F11 out of there, escape, and then, yeah, I lost where I was at. So Control F, PIC, get to the second one. Yeah. I can use the arrow keys to choose earlier version of Windows. I'm convinced there's a problem. Yeah, we read that already. Move along, nothing to see here. Triple click highlights an entire paragraph. Yes, it is the official Microsoft commercial release DVD, the full installation version of Windows 10 Home Edition. Home Edition. If memory serves me correctly, version 1803. That's going to be important to remember later when we go look at the video link that he provides. The video link that he provides requires a 1703. It was available for 2 or 3 years before we, Mom and I, decided to purchase our copies. It was available. Windows 10 was available for 2 or 3 years before they bought their copies. So this computer originally was Windows 7, I think he told us previously. The other drive has Windows XP. Yeah, I'm not sure if it might have originally been XP for all I know. Anyway, some of this is too much information. However, I'm trying to be thorough in my details. Thank you so much. I very much appreciate that. I appreciate everything you said in your show, that there was some details that I missed or wasn't clear about. So again, thank you for that. Wow, awesome. I love the detail that you've given us. Yes, it is not a brand name system put together by a major computer manufacturer. I saw enough of those systems to know they are cheap out on everything. I don't mind paying a little bit extra for the quality components such as capacitors that aren't factory seconds or floor sweepings. I currently own a popular, well-known brand that the capacitors around the processor have popped tops and dried electrolyte on some of them. Likely they were low temp capacitors, 85 degrees instead of 105 degrees or higher. Some systems can get quite toasty inside. I chose to stay away from flimsy cases, low-grade components, and cheap plastic parts that would break if you looked at them the wrong way. A lot to say. That's a lot to say. It is a custom build. LOL. At this point, I was thinking, oh, maybe he's got money to buy extra components, but no. Yeah, and that's quite all right. Absolutely happy working with whatever we've got to work with. I really don't know if it's a better designed motherboard for gaming, because I made the comment that the model number of it looked like it might be a gaming. It really doesn't matter. Mommy doesn't game, neither do I. The only reason for rebuilding the system, as I am, is to reduce the cost as much as possible. Mom is 90 years old. Congratulations, Mom. You go, girl. And has limited income, and I have no income because I have a torn muscle in my right arm. Oh, man, sorry to hear that. Best wishes for speedy recovery as much as possible on that. So I made the decision to get her going again as cheaply as possible. Respect. Respect. New stuff would cost a lot of money that she doesn't have. Thank goodness my sister was able to help out with some of the encountered costs. Good on you, sis. That lightning strike took out more than just her computer. 3 routers, my computer, and her UPS. Now, I'm assuming that's what he's saying, that the lightning strike took out those things as well. Damaged 3 routers, Darren's computer, and Mom's UPS, uninterruptible power supply. I suggest, or battery backup, for those who don't know the words. I suspect through the LAN cable running on the ground under my home, that's how the surge came through. He thinks it came through the LAN cable. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the science behind that. It is a strong possibility that if the LAN cable had not been plugged into my custom-built computer, it would not have been zapped. As near as I can tell, my UPS wasn't harmed. Hers does not acknowledge the power line and runs on battery when turned on, whether it's plugged into the wall or not. That's an interesting symptom. I really don't think it is a BIOS setting for the hard drive. Let's see. Darren says, my arm is better, but still getting better. And then, yep, the pine trees had bark knocked off of them. We never had Windows 7, Windows 98 and beyond. Quality components on the motherboard. I'm just taking a quick diversion to what Darren has said in chat. Okay. Hello, Jason Mirabel. Feel like I haven't seen you around for a while. I'm going to breathe in and out a couple times and then get back on it. Stalling. Here we go. Get back. Don't sing, Doug. It's not your forte. I really don't think it's a BIOS setting for the hard drive. Set up the two previous motherboards had RAID. The motherboards had RAID. I don't think he's not saying he had it configured RAID, but it was not used. Okay, yeah. As described early, IDE. There was now, or SATA IDE. You know, some people might see this. Wait a minute, IDE, aren't these SATA drives? Yeah, but SATA drives can be configured with this SATA_ID, IDE. I'm not sure the explanation behind that. Don't care. There was no AHCI, or whatever it's called, choice until this motherboard, LOL, and I am not using it, at least for now anyway. Right now, the priority is to get it working and optimize it later. I'm not really clear on whether those make a drive perform faster or not. Sometimes words in my brain don't make it to my fingers, LOL. I checked the log file and it showed automatic boot repair couldn't determine the problem or issue, but thanks for playing. That last part wasn't there, the thanks for playing. That wasn't actually part of the log file. However, it should be there because this is a real barrel of monkeys. I tell you, he says sarcastically. I appreciate you sharing that you're not an expert in this particular area of Windows troubles. I am not. I will claim this very, very willingly and prominently. I am not an expert in any particular area of Windows. I refer to myself as a general practitioner. And most of the times, most of the things that I come across, I wind up having to figure it out. If there's anything that I'm really, really good at, it is figuring out something. Now, there's a lot of people participating in the chat room here that will come up with a solution that I didn't think of yet. And maybe I wouldn't have thought of. And that's part of the reason for doing this channel, is because having a bunch of minds, anybody could come up with the right solution. Yes, I'm talking about you, Josh Kinder. You can come up with the right solution sometimes. And Ken Stout. Of course, Wintermute often does that. Zvi Menor often does that. Ran Israel often does that. Kerry Weisenberger often does that. I am all for learning new things, and I will certainly try suggestions by folks who are far more knowledgeable than myself. And don't be too eager about assuming that. And certainly share my experiences and my attempts, and finally the fix that makes it work again as it is supposed to. Back earlier in my progression as a computer tech, I myself and many other technicians I came across, we were very reluctant to admit that we don't know something. We would pretend. We would try to pretend that we know it. That will just shoot you in the foot too many times. No point in doing that. And just because you don't know, somebody else comes up with something that you didn't realize yourself, that doesn't mean that they're smarter than you or better than you or know the topic better than you. It just means they came up with the answer that time. Don't make any assumptions about that. If you're willing to pursue this stuff, that makes you top-notch in my book. As fun as exciting that would be, I currently cannot video chat. That was in relation to the invitation to come into Zoom. It just missed the timestamp there. Quite all right. I can't sit still long enough. LOL. However, thank you very much for the invite. That is very kind of you. You are certainly welcome. Yes, B, C, D, and D and S. Oh, that's where he had a typo. He did BCS at one point. They are neighbors, LOL. I try to proofread what I write as I go, and some oopsies and typos get through. I'll be the first one to tell you I am not perfect. But good on you. Good on you. Should be diddle that for everybody who watches this channel or participates. I'm likely about as far away from perfect as one could ever be from perfect. Also, everybody here should be claiming that. The long, tedious process of setting everything back up the way it was is no fun task for me anymore. Just way too much headache and hassle when running the proper commands in the repair this, the PC section, off a installation DVD, or much more common now, from USB thumb or jump drive. I got Darren. Sympathies. I'm so sorry for your loss, meaning your loss of time of having to deal with this. So sorry for you having to go through this frustration. But as often is the case in life, your loss is my gain. This is an awesome topic. I'm loving this topic, but I'm sorry for you having to go through this. I occasionally, when my clients experience some kind of difficult thing and they're frustrated and stuff, I will sometimes say to my client, on behalf of the entire computer industry, I apologize to you for how frustrating this area is. It shouldn't be that frustrating. We as a computer community, technology, should do better. And I apologize to you that we're not better and that it has caused you this frustration you're experiencing. Darren says, absolutely, Doug, to something that I just said. Here's a link that may be of interest to you. So here's where he gives us a link. Says he has not tried it yet. I have not watched this all the way through. I know that I have watched this before in the past. So I'm just going to show what that link is, and I'll put it into chat. And this is Cyber CPU Tech, and this is how far along I'm in this. And at the beginning of this, he tells that it you have to have version 1703 or earlier, 100 earlier than what Darren actually has. So I shouldn't have bumped that forward because I'm not through that yet. But this was how to fix master boot record. I'm still feeling very optimistic about image backup, do a fresh install of Windows 10 on the computer, and then restore only the C drive after you know that you have a functional, because that's going to fix, absolutely going to fix the BCD stuff. Because when you restore the C drive, that doesn't include the BCD. And I've done that before. You can restore a C partition right on top of another C partition and you get what you need. Greg M. saying next, a boot rec. I'm going to assume he put in a few things there. You know what? I'm going to take that as another commercial break. Catch my breath a little bit. Did I get those buttons punched right? Baby Beast is not showing a commercial. I'm not totally certain that I hit that first button, so I just hit it again. Now it shows a green check mark. And that picture-in-picture effect was because I was actually broadcasting my current live channel. Oh, I'm going to take a glance through chat and get a little focus on Greg M stuff. Okay, I see he did some retractions there and probably corrected what he first put in. So I think his stuff starts at this point. So I'm going to assume that we are back. We're back, even though I couldn't tell that by virtue of Baby Beast. And come back here to chat. Greg M says, troubleshoot from a command prompt issue bootrec, and that is what that video, I think he was talking about bootrec, but it's broken. It does not work after version 1703. He tells in here that bootrec will not work properly after version 1703. Now he's working here on a Windows 10 install that is more recent than that. I don't remember if it was 1900 something or 1800 something. What? I think it was 1900 something or newer. And apparently he's going to show how you can use an earlier version of Windows 1703, whatever it was, but it's hard to find. And he declines to actually provide a link because he's afraid YouTube will take down his video because it's from a site that is a little shady. I don't think YouTube would take down his video for that, but anyway, that's a little bit of background there. So this part here where Greg M is saying bootrec, scan operating system, followed by bootrec, fix MBR, then bootrec, fix boot. If this failed, then do a bootsect /N60 followed by bootrec, next to bootrec. Now, Greg M, I need to ask you, have you successfully done this on a damaged Windows 10 system that is more recent than 1703? Or are you just providing this as these are the commands that are documented to do? We are men, hard to admit things. About learning and admitting a person doesn't know something. Oh, that's what you're referring to up here. And let's see, has he responded yet?
Aljaz Tepej said, night chat, it is bedtime for me. See you all next time.
Thank you, Aljaz, for helping, hanging out with us. No, it's been a while since I've had to issue those commands, so he doesn't have recent successful experience with it. So that video, and I need to give you that link. Let's see, so I'm going to click, when you're trying to give a link for a video, rather than coming up here to the URL, because sometimes that's just too long, it's better to go to share and remove this check mark unless you want to give a particular time location on a video, and then click copy here, and then I'm going to highlight across all of that and Control C. So I actually have two things copied to my clipboard right now, and because I have clipboard history enabled, I can now come over here to chat and do Windows key V, and I can pick up this title for that video, spacebar once, Windows key V, and then give you the link for it. And as long as that doesn't exceed the length of the chat message capability, you'll get the link right there. That'll get you to it. Good night was to the one who announced it was his bedtime. Oh, from Darren. Okay. Hello, Oystein. Problem with the latest Acronis True Image Malwarebytes Premium according to Acronis Reddit, downgraded to the previous Acronis version. Yeah, that I've had to do that sometimes, and it's that is not a ding on Acronis, and I never consider that a ding on any software, particularly if they can make it known. If you're having this particular problem, then install this older version, and they make that older version reasonably available. I've had to do that on many different programs. All right. George still Oystein Malwarebytes has a fix for the issue with Acronis. Okay, great. So maybe it's updating Malwarebytes or applying some other fix. That might not be part of an update. Wow, 1 hour, 20 minutes on this topic. Well, we actually haven't been on it the whole time. Go ahead with your question, Darren.
Zvi Manor said, in order to progress, he will have to buy another disk or to clone, or to install new Win 10.
Well, could he acquire another drive from somebody who has an extra one laying around? Would anybody? I don't really want to ask the audience to do this. Now he's the East Coast. We know that he's Eastern time zone. Would anybody be willing to ship him a spare hard drive that you have hanging around? Because he is trying to really pinch pennies here. And in that case, we'd want to get your emails coordinated with each other. And let's not put your email addresses in chat unless you are okay with making it public. But I already have Darren's email address. If somebody wants to send me by email their willingness.
Ken Stout Live said mechanical or otherwise on the drive.
Of course, it would be better if you can ship him an SSD that's like 1 terabyte if you have an extra one laying around. But I think it's more likely that extra drives laying around are going to be spinning drives, because that's what you have no use for. I have them here, but I'd rather get some help from the community if somebody would be willing to coordinate and actually do that. That would be just awesome. And Darren B., we will stick with you. As long as you're willing to keep pursuing this, we will stick with you to try to resolve that. All right, where are we at here? Seldom Ball got a short skippable ad at, well, that's at 12:20, just a minute ago. So that's not when I triggered the ad. I want to try to get control of that. Just check Windows 10 22H2. Boot rec isn't available in Windows, but is available with Windows recovery environment. Start, setup, repair this computer. Start, setup, repair this computer. To do start, setup. Oh, okay. So you would need to have recovery environment. So if you create a bootable Windows 10 USB, that is Windows recovery environment that it boots to. As it's booting, as if you're going to install Windows, there's an option on the lower left side to repair this computer. So that would be the place to do that.
By Shawaran Israel said boot from DVD or USB.
Well, if you're going to use 22H2, that's going to have to be a USB, unless you go to the trouble of burning a DVD with it. I guess since this is an older motherboard, Darren, are you able to boot from USB? Boot rec is only available when you go to troubleshoot option, command prompt from DVD or USB. So when you are using a USB installation media for Windows and do that repair option, I think doesn't that get you to the option of advanced boot options, and that you can choose a command prompt. And then when you're doing that command prompt, you should be able to, or even the troubleshoot option, you should be able to do boot rec.
Yes, affirmative.
Yeah. Thank you, Rand. Hopefully my question about live chat messages. So did Darren have a question there about live chat? I have a question. The live chat messages don't appear in YouTube. Is there a way to see them somehow? The live chat messages, but you're interacting with us during this live stream. How can you not be seeing these messages? Is there a way to see them somehow? How is it not? Is it the new layout? Chat messages. Okay, here. Oh, this isn't my show. You should be seeing chat messages on the right-hand side If you have the new layout, they still show up on the right-hand side, but also the video description would show up on the right-hand side. I have seen occasions where one of these buttons down here will be live chat. I don't quite understand when that shows up. Here, if I close this, X out of live chat, then there's this show chat button right up here. Can you take a screenshot and email it to me, Darren? Did you already get your question answered? That was 12:23. I don't show in YouTube comments. Oh, YouTube comments. Oh, yes. You have to be approved comments on a video. So let me go take a look over here. I'm taking that off the screen while I go. Here's what I currently have in comments. If I refer for channel comments, if you have put a comment on one of my videos, it might be in this review section. So I'm going to click over there and see. Yeah, here it is. Here's Darren. I don't see any ads during the video. So he put this in here. But since you are a moderator now, I'm guessing, yeah, this is 14 hours ago. You put this in before you were a moderator. If you were to put in a comment on a video now, it should automatically go through. And the way this works is I have to approve the message. I've got chat messages are moderated so that somebody new putting a chat message, it seems like not always, but they come up in this held for review, so they won't be visible until they get approved. This message is still has to be approved. So I'll approve that now. Now when you go back and look at that video, you should be able to see your comment on that video. And then it comes over here to published. I didn't see any ads during the video either, which tickles me. I really despise ads like most everyone else does. Yeah, YouTube tells us that not everybody is going to see an ad at the same place, even when I ask it to put ads in. All I'm trying to do is to stop YouTube from putting in ads at places that I'm not asking for them. And the only way to do that is for me to put in ads occasionally. Oh, okay. Well, since you asked, I'll go do one. Ad break and add instructions. And yeah, Baby Beast is getting an advertisement, political. Somebody recently asked if YouTube does political ads. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Unboxing. Are we getting close to the unboxing? We've got half an hour left. Darren is on a phone. I'm on my phone and see them. He sees, I think that means there he's seeing the chat comments, the chat room activity. Parker Mower says, ask him when Windows updated last before the lightning strike. All right. How many people, if your computer all of a sudden wouldn't boot and it's your mom's computer, not yours, how many of you will know when the last Windows update successfully installed? Do you monitor them that close? Yeah, fair question. I'm not sure where you would go with that after that answer. Yes, on live chat, messages are showing up. Greg was also wondering about that. Yeah, Ken was saying it takes a day for that to populate. I don't think so for comments. It takes a day for the chat room to populate on a video. But weirdly, my Monday through Friday shows that are half an hour long about the chat room replay will not be available till about 20 hours later. But this Saturday show, that's 2 hours long typically, the chat messages are available about 2 hours after the show. What? Why is that? Why is YouTube quicker about processing the video for a 2-hour show
Read
on
chat,
Saturday
please.
than it is for a 30-minute show on weekdays? I'll get to that in a moment. I'm thinking that maybe because YouTube servers are more busy Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. my time, than Saturday. Is that believable? Are there fewer live streams on Saturdays? John Williams says, see chat, please. The last ad is not showing up on my Mac Air, but it was displayed on my Fire TV. Are those both signed into YouTube with the same account? I very much would like to know that. Are those signed into YouTube with the same account on your Mac Air and your Fire TV? I'm getting tired. I just did an ad break, right? Yeah, but I'm going to go to an opening. Yeah, I need to put a chapter break for this. Darren says, there is so much I would love to read. The chat comments, is that what you're talking about? Now,
Ken
here's
Stout Live said, are you foregoing Zoom totally today?
Oh, no, if somebody wants to come into Zoom, nobody's there now. Yeah, the unboxing, that would be fine to have somebody in Zoom. But during all that stuff for Darren B, I think it was better without Zoom. Because I was going to have a hard time staying on track. Because you saw how well I stayed on track, right? Yeah, here's what Zoom has now. There's nobody.
Zvi Manor said coffee time.
There's nobody.
Ken Stout, Live said was...
What? Ken is not nearly as good as Darren when he's typing messages. I always understand what Darren is trying to say. See, Darren makes it real clear what he's saying. Ken Stout comes in with a single word, was. Fuzzy was a bear? Was Fuzzy Wuzzy a bear? What? Are you foregoing Zoom? Sometimes I can figure it out when I look at his previous message. Are you foregoing Zoom totally today? Is that a
Ken
typo?
Stout Live said you said was. If you started Zoom, I was questioning was.
John Williams said, read my message, please.
All right, I'll do that. You said was. So that's something that Ken Stout does sometimes. He'll pick out a single word that I said sometime in the past, and he thinks if he writes that word into chat, that I'm going to know what I said back there that he's referring to. No. John Williams. What was that, Doug? Here, I'll copy that. Control F.
Ken
Paste.
Stout Live said you literally just said it.
That doesn't mean I'm going to remember that I said it, that I just said the word was. In what context? What was the rest of the sentence? Good grief. John Williams, read my message. If I can help, I will. That would be awesome. Wondering if he wants a laptop or just the drive. Oh, John is offering to send him the drive. I have a laptop he can have. It has Windows 10 on it, and I don't need it. It would cost more to ship the whole laptop, so he only needs the drive. Although he could do a fresh install on that laptop and then have space. How large is the drive? That's the main thing. How large is the drive, John Williams? Literally just said it. Jeez, I'm upside the head. Here he comes. Here come the Ken. Here come the Ken. Did I do that right? I did not do that right. I want Ken on the right side. There. And then, oh, I gotta turn that stuff on so you can hear me over there. So to do that, what I do is I come over here to Zoom. I got to change the speaker in Zoom because it currently is sending out to my microphone. That's so that people in Zoom don't distract me.
Ken Stout Live said I hear you on Zoom.
He hears me on Zoom. My microphone is cable output, so he's also hearing SpeakerBot in Zoom. But I cannot hear him until I change this to headphones. Pretty sure that's the one I want. And then turn video on, and he'll see what I'm broadcasting. Then I punch to myself. Now, if I go back to Zoom, and then I've got my fake Doug on top of Zoom. Ken does not see this fake Doug image. Ken sees what I am broadcasting, which I am broadcasting Zoom right now. So in my panel, he is seeing himself and me side by side. Do I hear you, Ken? Hello.
Is there any feedback or echo from my end?
No, I'm hearing only your voice.
Good.
The
what about on YouTube?
Let's see.
I asked because I don't have my earbuds in and it's being played.
Right.
Zoom is being played through the speakers. I want to be clear. I don't want to confuse you.
All right. But you're only listening through Zoom, so no, there wouldn't be any echo.
Wintermute said audio good.
Yeah, Wintermute says audio is good, and you heard that speaker bot, right, Ken?
I did.
Okay, we're good. We're good. So I still don't know what the word was, what context I said it in. I can't go back in DVR mode and look at it during a show.
My memory's not as sharp as yours, but you made the comment about, I said, are you going to open Zoom? And you said you would not open Zoom. You think about open Zoom because you would be more distracted. Can you imagine how distracted I was going to be? And I said, hello, you've been distracted all day.
Well, that's
you can
what
deduct that from my pay, by the way. That's fine.
So you did not understand that I was using sarcasm in that comment. That totally went over your head.
Okay.
You did not understand that I was using sarcasm when I said that when I said something.
Don't you have a speaker bot command that says sarcasm alert?
Used to. I turned that off because I know why I did, because I programmed Stormy to be !S, and then I realized after that it conflicted with sarcasm, and I didn't think sarcasm was getting used all that much in SpeakerBot. Yes, sarcasm was being used, just not SpeakerBot.
Right. All right.
Okay. Oh, look at this. Darren refers to you as Zoom person.
I saw that.
You're demoted.
I'm going to change my channel name, by the way, to Zoom person.
Yeah, you have been demoted to Zoom person. By the way, Darren, Ken Stout does a live stream every night. And your time would be 10 p.m. He's East Coast time. So, right, Ken? That's 10 p.m.
Yes, correct. If he's on the East Coast, it would be 10 p.m.
Yeah, which was really a fun hangout time. And then after the live stream, and sometimes before it, even more people hang out on Zoom without live streaming. And it's a really, really cool community of friends. And I'm sure Ken would love to have you show up. Well, except you don't have camera capability. Well, you can show up in chat during the live stream.
Zvi Manor said, accept me, sarcastic.
Well done, Zvi. He figured out how to do a sarcasm speaker bot. Ran Israel Ken Stout. Was that mug with a large L strategically timed? I guess that means Ken had a mug. L.
I'm a coffee cup.
Oh, all right. So
that's Mrs. L's. It's Lorna's cup, but I'm using it today.
Ah, okay. I was gonna say it's L for Ken. I knew it was for Lorna. Let's
yeah, her being Vietnamese and all, we have to remind her of her name all the time. So
yeah, Darren, we know no offense was intended. There's a lot of poking fun at each other that goes on my channel and Ken's channel. So it's all in good, friendly humor.
Yes, it is.
And we both try to make a point of explaining that once in a while, because somebody who comes in new might not understand that. He might think, oh man, these guys are mean. No.
Yeah, to the point where I actually make trailers and poke fun at Doug.
Yes. Yes, he does.
He seems to be okay with it so far.
With my full approval, and I enjoy them. And a lot of people would take offense to them. I'm not sensitive like that.
Yeah, the last one I was a little bit concerned about, but then I thought, we'll see.
No, that was fine. I'm not even sure which one that was. Oh, was that the sleeping around?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, he's surprised that I would even fess up to that on my channel. Yes.
Yep.
And the context of that, I'll give the context of that. It was on an after-hours Zoom session on Ken's channel. People were asking about what videos that I watch when I'm just doing my own thing. What videos do I habitually go watch? And I said, oh, I kind of sleep around. And that was where that was. That wasn't actually the darker side of that conversation that you might have been imagining.
Yeah, I think we all knew what your reference was to.
Well, of course you did.
The trailer might indicate otherwise.
Yeah. So then he took that and he made a trailer that he did through editing with DaVinci Resolve, no doubt. And it was humorous.
You don't use DaVinci, right?
No.
Okay.
No. I have to spend more money than that.
Trying to remember what you use.
Adobe Premiere
Pro. Yeah. Okay.
So I pay a lot of money for that. I'm not claiming that it's better or more capable. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know.
Be right back.
All right, so I'm going to get on to this unboxing, and for those who are concerned, I already have blacked out the address. And on the downside is my client and I did not order this on my Amazon account. So I'm not sure how quickly I'm going to be able to bring up a link for that on Amazon, because we didn't order it on my account. Unboxing camera. Here it is. Unboxing camera. Move the water out of the way. And here we go. Here we go. And I think I have this camera set to autofocus, testing autofocus. Yes. Camrui mini PC. Oh, I know how I can find this. This is a very unique find. How do I want to go about showing you this? I got to tell you the story of why we selected this one. And I'm just contemplating at what point I'm going to tell the story. I better do that before I open. No, I'll take it off. I'm going to open up the box and peek like I'm peeking at my cards. Yeah, that part's safe. I don't want to show you too much about the computer, because the unique specialness about this computer would be a parent. Not a child, it would be a parent. Okay. My client. It's this client that has this computer, the hard drive that we couldn't access the data earlier this week. I think it was earlier this week. I'm suspecting that the heads are stuck, because I can hear with my stethoscope, I can hear the drive spinning, but I don't get any clicking, any of the normal clicking that a spinning hard drive should have. So once we get all complete with this and everything's up and running, I'll try to open this up or hammer it and see if I can get it back to life, just for fun. We do not have to get the data off of here, because he uses OneDrive. All of his important content is available.
John Williams said, make sure to check the operating system has malware.
That is important, that it has malware. So yeah, we'll check to verify. We'll check to verify that it has malware because of your reminder, John Williams. Exclamation mark, sarcasm. I do not mean that the way it sounded.
Light V Manor said maybe the controller is bad in this hard disk.
On that hard disk, it could be. It could be. In which case, I think if you replace the circuitry on it, you might be able to get back to it. But again, we don't need to. In fact, he is using his laptop from home and his iPad. He's fully functional right now. So he's not too worried. I mean, he's getting along okay. He'd rather have the computer. But he's going from that tower computer to this little mini computer. So here's the thing. His monitor, it's an old monitor.
John Williams said OS without malware, Doug.
I understand what you meant. His current monitor is VGA. So when we were talking about that, I said, well, we can get an adapter. The new computer's going to be HDMI or DisplayPort. We can get an adapter to play on your VGA monitor. Now he can afford better monitors, newer monitors, but he's prudent with his money. He's got money just fine, but he's prudent. So and his eyesight is fine. And that monitor is smaller footprint on his desk. But then he says, when we start looking around at monitors and he realizes, oh, these little computers can have 2 or 3 monitors. So he starts contemplating what it would be like to have 3 monitors. And we wind up saying, well, let's just get you set up with 1 monitor, and we can always add the other monitors later, instead of taking the time at that point to order additional monitors. So we start looking around. Yeah. And we came across this. And because this computer also met the other requirements or the other needs, it's not the cheapest, but it was under $300. It wasn't under $200. I should be doing the unboxing camera. Yeah. Okay, so here we got 2 HDMI ports. There's a USB. Let me get it focus.
Greg M. said, what processor does that mini PC have?
We'll get to that in a little bit. I don't know offhand. I'll have to look it up. So there's a USB. There's 2 HDMI. Here's headphones. Here's a slide switch of some sort. Well, I think you got to take that screw out. Maybe that slide switch lets you take the top off. Okay, so then on this side, we got 2 USB 3.x and a USB 2.
Greg M. said that open top.
Yeah, open top. Actually, this one that's black, it says USB 3. Let's get that focused. See there, it says USB 3 with a black tongue. That seems odd. Oh, no. I get it. Those are not USB 2.0, 3.0. Those are labeled USB 1, USB 2.
ZV Manor said 3rd port.
Yes, 3rd port.
Ran Israel said it means USB port number 3.
Right. Yeah, I'm guessing that you probably saw the USB 1, 2, 3. I didn't see that at first. Here's a power button for turning it on. And then here's this side. And then the next side is what really surprised me. Let's see, what does it... Oh, look at where the camera is, Doug. No, that doesn't tell us what... That doesn't tell us anything about what's inside. Here's what surprised me. I didn't think there was any chance of getting finding a mini computer that has a VGA port. What? Are you kidding me? So since that meant we could easily use his current monitor, we ordered that one. So I'm going to go find that on Amazon, try to anyway. Rand Israel says, nice. Meaning the VGA port? Were you responding to somebody else's comment? It is a flat screen, that VGA monitor. Okay, so I'm going to search Kamrui, K-M-R-U-I, and VGA. See if it'll get to the right one.
affirmative.
This looks like it here. So he was referring to the VGA. It's nice. Yeah, their cheapest one is $180. And let's see. Well, they don't have other options there. So I'm thinking this one has VGA. I don't think that's what we bought. That's only 8 gigabytes and 256. I would not have bought that one. This 259, that sounds familiar. I think this is what we got. 16 gigabytes, 1 terabyte. Alder Lake N95. And these N processors are fine for most business offices, particularly for this client. Nothing he does is very challenging. His property management software is a cloud-based software through the internet. He uses Microsoft Office for Word and Excel. He does email. It's just not a challenging arena at all. And this computer can do 3 displays. They're shown right here with 3 displays. The 2 HDMI and the VGA. So here's, I think we see that notch right here where that slider switch probably releases it. Oh, there's a notch. No, the slider switch I think is on the other side. Yes, because here you can see this side with the RGB. This computer has RGB right there. Oh, good grief. So here's the RGB. And on the other side, we have that switch to release the lid. And there's different levels of this computer that you can get. Kamrui, I don't think I've bought one of those before, but really all these little mini PC computers, I'm really not scared of any of them, particularly with Amazon's return policy, and they're just so inexpensive. Okay, what else is in the box? Power adapter with a barrel connector, HDMI cable, VISA mount for mounting it on the back of a monitor, and screws.
Ren Israel said, which combo is this one? How much RAM and how large SSD?
Yeah, it's this one with the 16 gigabytes RAM and 1 terabyte. It was the most expensive, and that's really how I selected it, because he can afford it. And when I told him these mini computers can be under $200, his eyes popped out, because that's exciting. And then when he saw the most expensive in this particular model is $260, he just did, yeah, let's just do that. He is self-employed. It's a property management business that he's probably had. I don't know how long he's had it. He might have had it 40 years. He's not in an aggressive business. I mean, he's not pursuing his business aggressively. He's got a lot of properties that he manages, and it's just kind of like autopilot, similar to my business. I'm not really out there trying to get more business. Okay, so power. Plug into my power strip. HDMI cable for the capture card. HDMI port 1. Keyboard and mouse. Mouse turned on. Pull the transceiver out. Plug it in, plug it in. USB 3 for the transceiver, which appears to be a 2.x port. Keyboard on. And power button. Let's see. Let me switch. Let's see. Here's my capture 2. Currently only shows my picture-in-picture. Power on. Oh, Wintermute just put in a link for that. Thank you. I'm assuming that is that computer. Yeah. Because I forgot to do it. Now, he's also, I've been talking with him for probably a year now that he's going to have to upgrade. He's going to have to get a new computer due to Windows 11. So that was part of the conversation when first simple efforts did not wake his computer up or recover it. And he said, oh, let's just get a new computer because I have to do that anyway. But at that point in time, he did not know how inexpensive they are. All right, so here's the English. It is not now. Was this Windows
Read
11?
chat, please.
Does this thing say that it's Windows 11 Home or Pro? Ran Israel. Out of box /bypass NRL. Yeah, thank you for giving that to me. I want to see what this one will do. Well, we'll find out what it is. Let's just get back to the computer. So I have not connected to Ethernet. We've not connected to Wi-Fi yet. Oh, my picture. Turn that off. Click yes. US keyboard, yes. Add a second, skip. And then it wants to go to a network and it has an option for I don't have internet. And then there's limited, continue with limited setup. License agreement. And then a local username. Bada boom, bada bing. Oh, by the way, you have met this person. I'll bring up his image here in a moment. What username does he commonly use? Do we care? No, we don't care. And he's been on the show, so I can use his name. John. Next. password. I won't do a password for now. So I didn't have to do any bypass NRO. This tells me that it is this tells me that Cam Rui did a custom install Windows that has already done the bypass NRO, or however they do it. So didn't have to do anything. I'm going to go turn the air conditioner on. We're going over 100 degrees again. We got up, I think the highest we had this summer was maybe 113, 14, something like that. Might take a few minutes. And then we'll go put into chat now what you want me to check before we shut down, because we're at 2-hour mark right now, and you know I'm going to want to shut down pretty soon. Oh, good time for a commercial. Here we are. Yeah, I'm going to do a commercial. Mostly because I'm trying to figure out how these commercials work so I can make them work less obtrusive for us.
Ran Israel said WinVer device manager, system properties.
All right. Yep, that's about along the lines of what I was thinking. I'm not seeing an ad on BBB, so I don't know when it's going to be over with. Excuse me. Now that is this one. In fact, I'm going to pop this out.
Ken Stout Live said skippable ad on Mrs. K account.
Thank you, Ken. Window projector view so that I can face the camera and see this in a larger view. In fact, I think I can show this to you this way. No, I can't. Okay. Yeah. All right. Windows key R, WinVer. Still not connected to the internet. 23H2. And 24H2 for Windows 11. That's not out yet, is it? Let's see, where's my mouse? Over there. What is Big Beast on? 23H2. So that is the most recent, that's the current Windows 11, and they managed to skip the forcing into, oh, and this is home. That's even more significant. This wasn't Pro, so it's Windows 11 Home, and they managed to let you go straight to a local user account. Awesome. Then, another thing I want to get into is device encryption and see if they disabled that, hopefully. Here's system properties. We got an Intel N95, 1.7 gigahertz. Now there was, as I was looking around, there are higher end processors. So I was looking to get a higher of those, but I couldn't find that with the VGA. The VGA is not all that important to stuck with it, because of course we could use an adapter or we could just replace the monitor. Ran Israel says, you're right, they applied the bypass NRO already. Yeah. When you use, what's that software for creating thumb drive installation media, that where you can just do a checkbox to tell it to include that? BitLocker not on the home version, but device encryption is. The Windows 11 Home will come with device, when you're getting it from like Dell or HP, it will come with device encryption partially enabled. And it is BitLocker under the covers, but it's not as capable as the Pro version has with BitLocker. Rufus, thank you, George. I'm pretty sure he's confirmed that it is George. Rufus, yeah, they use that for the Windows image. 16 gigabytes of RAM. And let's see, where was he? Oh, device manager, right. No exclamation marks. Here's the storage media identity. I don't recognize that. And is there anything else we care about there? You'll have to ask me in chat if there's any other specifics you care about in here. And here's IDE, ATA, ATP, API controller. So the designation IDE is still with us. The SATA AHCI controller. Has Wi-Fi. All right. Have you asked for anything else? Where does device encryption show? I will show you that now. And so Windows key device encryption, ENCR, and it's not even coming up there, which tells me it's not. Maybe it's not here. I don't know that all that well. Let's try Windows security. Device security. I think it would be in there. No, it's not. Somebody help me. Privacy for device. Yeah, I guess that is privacy, isn't it? Account protection could be security. No actual privacy there. Search encryption. Yeah, data encryption. There we go. So that's the way to do it. Not device encryption. Searching for the word encryption gets us device security, core isolation, security processor. Standard hardware security not supported. Oh, well, that's interesting. Apparently the hardware of this computer does not support device encryption. Windows 11 Home definitely does, but it's not supported on this hardware, apparently. It wants an account, Microsoft account, to even give me more information about that? How rude. How can I even get out of that? That's the window. Start without your data. All right, could do that. Bring over your data from other browsers. No. Confirm and continue. And make your experience more useful. No, why would we want to do that? Confirm and start browsing. Oh, it's trying to take me to a... Yeah, I'm not connected to the internet, so it's not going to take me there. Could it be because we're not connected to the internet? I'm going to plug in a Ethernet. No, I'm not. It does not have an Ethernet port. Of course, I could use a USB Ethernet device, but I'll just go connect to Wi-Fi. Oh, this is interesting. How am I going to do that when I don't have a monitor? Is there anything there that I care about? Yeah, there is. If I bring up Wi-Fi now, it'll show the names of my neighbors because they have Wi-Fi SSIDs that use their names. So I have plugged in another monitor and I can work with that from there, except that I have to duplicate monitors. So right click on the desktop, display settings, and instead of extending these displays, I want to duplicate these displays and keep changes. That way I can take this off of YouTube and connect to Wi-Fi. Wrong mouse. Available. Wi-Fi on. And then choose my SSID and put in my code. Display the code to be sure I typed it right. Next. Yeah, does device encryption require connection to the internet? I have no idea. Windows key, encryption, data encryption. I've had many computers come from major name manufacturers, and I find when I come into here with Windows 11 Home, I think even recently with Windows 10 Home back in the day, that it was partially enabled and wanted you to sign into a Microsoft account to complete the encryption. Yeah, still not supported, but let's see if it tells me why. TPM 2.0, secure boot enabled. It might be just a matter of enabling secure boot. DEP and UEFI mat. So I don't know which piece of that is missing. Your device meets the requirements for enhanced hardware security. Your device has all secured core PC features enabled. Standard hardware security not supported. This means your device does not meet at least one of the requirements. Oh, this isn't talking about my device. This is just explaining what each of these different things means. So it's still implying that this computer does not meet one or more of those qualifications. And I think that'll do it. If there's anything else you want here before I sign off, ask it now or forever hold your peace, because I'm about to bounce out of here. We got the encryption. If you already put something in there that you want me to catch, I might not catch it. So you need to do an !C, then put in a timestamp or your name for me to get to it. Because I will not comprehend everything that's in front of my eyes right now.
Ran Israel said run tpm.msc to check if TPM is available.
Okay. And Ken, no, I do not need you to reset back to
read chat, please.
Whatever that was. And Ken Stout says 401. 401. Ken, I can still hear you. That's probably 401 your time. You are welcome to
answer. You said I don't need to reset it.
Oh, I already answered. Okay. Then Windows key are tpm.msc. TPM is ready for use. You may declare TPM to remove ownership. How about if secure boot is enabled? Is there a place where I can go to see that status? Does anybody know? Does MS Info do it? TPM, I know it's enabled in the BIOS, but is there a way that we can tell if it is enabled? Well, no, it's already told me that TPM is enabled. I want to know, is Secure Boot enabled? That's also done in BIOS. See, TPM is ready for use, so that means it is enabled, but is System Info Secure Boot status? Here, Secure Boot state is turned off. So we just turn that on. So let's go try that.
John Williams said Secure Boot is off.
Yes. So I'm going to do Shift Restart, holding down the Shift key to make it easier to get into BIOS setup. And we'll go turn Secure Boot on and see if that makes device encryption available, which my client's not going to actually need or want. All right, you overtime junkies, we are there. Choose Troubleshoot, Advanced Options, UEFI Firmware Settings, and Restart. We can't do this with laptops, but I think we can do this with a mini computer. Security, Secure Boot, press Enter. Secure Boot says enabled. Secure Boot Mode Standard, Custom. It looks to me like it's enabled. Am I missing something? Secure Boot enabled but not active? Is that what I'm seeing? There's standard and custom. If I choose custom, no, that doesn't change anything. I'll disable Secure Boot and re-enable it. Secure Boot can be enabled when system in user mode. Repeat operation after enrolling platform key. Secure Boot can be enabled when system in user mode. Repeat operation after enrolling platform key. Oh, now after doing custom, we can get to key management. So that, but I think that's only if we need custom. If we have not custom, if we use standard, reset without saving. If we use standard, we should still be able to see Secure Boot. Yeah, Londog MS
Ran
Info.
Israel said, is CMS legacy mode enabled?
Okay. We'll check on that. We already checked MS Info 32, Londog. It told us that Secure Boot was off. See, I did not get into setup that way, so I'm going to go again, Shift Restart. Because I was trying to, I changed that back to standard instead of custom, and that forced an instant reboot. CSM. All right, troubleshoot, advanced, UEFI firmware, restart. I don't know where to find that CSM. Let's see, security, go down to Secure Boot, see what we're on now. So we're enabled and we're standard. So I shouldn't have to enroll a key if we're on standard. I think that's the reason why it was telling me that bit about enrolling it. Boot. You just don't understand how Ken Stout is having a hard time paying attention here. Yeah, I caught you.
Right up my alley.
Look at boot menu for CSM. I mean, I vaguely recognize it, but state after G3 wake, boot options, NVMe drive, BBS priorities.
Ran Israel said it says active now.
Oh, does it?
Savi Manor
Well-
said no need. It is active.
Oh, okay, yes, because previously when we were in here, it said enabled, and instead of active, it said inactive or something else. All right, good. Gotcha. Save and changes. Save changes and exit. Lawn Dog says, it looks like Ken Stout Live is vacationing. You interrupted his nap.
Close.
Zvimana said points to rain.
Oh, yeah, sure. Points to Ran Israel, because he's showing something that was on the screen. He actually got us to the right place to do that. Okay, so 86,589 points to Ran Israel.
Which equates to an all expense subscription to Ken Stout Live.
Yes. Except for people who live on planet Earth, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. Then, I know, MS, okay, now let's do MS Info 32 and be sure that it recognizes here when I find my mouse. Secure boot state shows us on. Okay, then we'll go to Windows key encryption. And secure boot is on. Standard hardware security, you meet.
Ran Israel said yippee, a second pony.
With the points. Standard hardware security, learn more. Secure boot is on. Where is device encryption? We are in security. Is when you do a USB install media with I'm almost remembering the name of that utility that does that. You can see I never do it. Does it have a way to make device encryption unavailable? Could that be what they've done? Secure boot, security processor details. Do I have another Windows 11 home around here? I don't think I do. No, Baby Beast is Pro. Does not have such a feature. Rufus, yes, Rufus. Every time that I can't come up with a word, you know you got a good shot that it's either Rufus or it's that memory thing to speed up a spinning hard drive that we've talked about, multiple Optane. See there, Greg put that type that in before I gave much of a clue as to the other word that I couldn't think of. Oh, such a Doug. I don't know where to find this. Change your privacy settings. Search for device encryption. Thought I did that already. See, it comes up with nothing. Searching for encryption. comes to data encryption, that's the only place it could be. That brings us to this screen. There's nothing in here for it. Something's preventing us from getting there. Oh, what was that command? Somebody gave us for checking on it. You gave me a run command to check on it. What was it? Oh, Windows 11 Home definitely has device encryption. Oh, here it is. TPM. What?
You should use your own advice and do an F3 search. Oh, you found it.
F3 search?
No, that's something I learned from you. Is when you're looking for something, hit F3, it brings up a search box, put in a word. We did this last night. Oh my gosh.
Ken, look at me. Look at me. Control F. Not F3. Control F.
Okay, something F. What? Okay, got it. I slept since last night. But you know what I meant, right?
Yeah, I know what you meant. That's why I came up with the correction. No, Control F. But I thought of that, but what was I going to search for? I couldn't remember the name of the command. So what was I going to search for?
Well,
period?
yeah, good point.
I knew it had a period. So I'm going to search for a period. Okay, Windows key R. Oh, here's the easier way. Is I could have done a Windows.
Please.
I could have done a Windows key R and looked at recent commands. Because here, when you click on the drop down, you'll see things that you've done in the recent commands that you've done. That would have been the smart way to do it. All right, I'm going to chat. Imgur, encryption may be only available if you sign in via. No, not true. Because I have seen device encryption and it's prompting you to connect to a Microsoft account to complete the encryption. What is this one? Oh, oh, look at this. Rufus and Optane. Oh, very good. I will not forget the terms Rufus and Optane. Write it on the blackboard.
Wow, somebody's good at that. Is awesome.
That was good, right? It found a website, or I'm sure he typed in what he wanted it to say. I don't think that was a stock image.
No, I don't think Bart was going to ever put that on there. He might have. You never know. They've done a lot of things on that show.
And this image, Imgur, that's just a place to post an image. So this doesn't give us a clue of the website that he did that on. Here's a 3-dot menu, copy link, download. Yeah, this doesn't tell us the website that he used to do that. I bet that website has other settings other than that classroom with what's his name. Yeah, I've told you before, I almost have his name on the tip of my tongue, but
Simpsons.
Yes, Bart, because you said symptoms, I know it's Bart. Okay. What? I don't know where I was going. I thought we had a salute. Oh yes, that chat command. Get distracted. Use key R. Use the correct keyboard. TPM MSC. TPM ready for use. You may clear TPM. Oh, well, that's right. We didn't change anything about that. All right. If somebody figures out what it is, you can put it on a comment on this video. I'm done. I've had enough. Ken, would you say goodbye or any last words from you?
Goodbye, and any last words from me?
Well done. Well done. Bounce the Kenster. Okay. Hey, let's do this. Let's set that speaker and there. Okay, done that, and then I'll come over here to turn off those commands. Go back to here. Oh, get this out of my face. Yeah, Darren B. Haha. Love it. That's my type of humor too. Oh, I think you're going to fit in really well around here, Darren. There it is. Found the button. You can watch this video to see how to get free support through this YouTube channel. This video to see how to get paid private support from me directly. This video to see how to turbocharge your troubleshooting Windows experience by participating in this channel. This is a video recent on my channel. Have a great weekend, everybody. Catch you later. Goodbye.